was, you know, in and out of the team. We still had a good...
I haven't been after the guys for it either, but we'll improve it.
Always said hi to me, always been extremely friendly.
In the Oklahoma City Energy's brief history, there have been a couple of players that have shone bright. Gareth Evans stands out from the crowd with his white top hair and Welsh accent. With the Energy from the start, Gaz, as he's known on the field, has become a face of the franchise. I had the chance to sit down and talk with the midfielder recently and learn more about what makes him the fiery competitor we see on the pitch. Is it hard to believe this is year number 3 for both you and Oklahoma City, but also for the franchise?
Yeah, I was actually talking to somebody about that the other day. It's absolutely flown by. To think 2 years ago is when Energy first started. But no, I think it's obviously come a long way in that time, and it's really exciting to be part of what Energy's becoming, and quite excited to see where it goes in the future.
What are the changes? Have you seen fans recognize you? What kind of things have you seen?
Every aspect. I mean, if you look from the stadium to where we are, from where we were then to where we are now, the fans, more fans, it's much more known on the city. You see a lot more regular people just wearing Energy t-shirts and club merchandise, that kind of thing. But all over, I mean, I think the professionalism's grown a lot. I think at the start, obviously, it was new for everybody. Even Jimmy, it was his first year as a coach, you know. And I just think every single aspect of it's grown to be what it is now, and I think it can carry on growing.
You've kind of grown on the field as well, started more on the defender side, transformed more into a midfielder. Where do you see your game at this point in your career?
Right now, I feel like a midfielder. I do see, as time goes by, I'll probably drop back into defence. It's a little less running for the old man, but yeah, no. Right now, I feel like a midfielder. I try and think of the game as a midfielder, that kind of stuff. But yeah, still naturally a very defensive player.
You had 2 goals last year. How does a person like you that has, you know, defensive background, that doesn't score a ton of goals, how do you rank your game from game to game, from season to season?
Well, I think last year it got better as time went by. The first few games, I was definitely kind of feeling myself into that position. You know, I was maybe running a lot more than I needed to. Now I feel like I got more familiar with the role and kind of know when to go and when to stay and that kind of different things. And yeah, I got 2 goals, which was good. Would like more. I never really set myself any goal targets, though. I'm not really a prolific goal scorer. But yeah, it was great feeling to score a goal. I haven't scored a goal for a few years, so hopefully I get a few more this year.
You're kind of known as the fiery guy, the enforcer on the team. Is that something you wanted to be from the beginning? Is that something that just kind of evolved because that's your personality? Where does that come from?
I think that's kind of my personality. I feel like I'm a pretty relaxed, laid-back guy, but I can be sometimes kind of quick to lose my temper, you know, and it doesn't take much sometimes, and especially in the heat of the game when the adrenaline's going, sometimes I can lose my temper a tiny bit. But no, I definitely don't go out and searching for that kind of tag. But I think it's just part of me and my personality, and it's definitely got me into trouble a couple of times on the field. But believe it or not, as I've got older, I've definitely calmed down a heck of a lot. So plus, I feel like I've calmed down a little bit more in midfield. There's a lot more going on. As defenders, a little bit less running, so you have a bit more time break in between. So you know you can talk to people, that kind of stuff. Midfield, it's non-stop. So I think that's helped me in that respect a little bit. But no, I enjoy it. I think it's part of my game, makes me who I am as a player and that kind of thing. But it's definitely funny because people who just see me play and don't know me as a person off the field, they're quite surprised when they meet me. But yeah, like I said, I mean, still, I can lose my temper sometimes. You're laughing now already.
Well, I've seen it, but I mean, I think that's something that the Energy needs at some points, and I think that's something that Coach really likes about you, because you bring that, almost an extra coach, an extra drill sergeant on the field sometimes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think every good team I've played for or against has had some form of kind of, you know, fiery temper person, you know, and you know, I mean, so like I said, I try and be a leader. I'm one of the oldest guys in the team, and I've played for, besides maybe Koenig and Tim Jansen, I've played for the longest out of the guys in the team now. So I try and use it in a positive way as much as I can, and then sometimes the red mist descends, and I kind of, you know, but no, I think for the most part it's a positive thing. I mean, I don't think you get championship winning teams from a team of nice guys. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that's an excuse to go around kicking people, that kind of thing. I'm not about that. But I definitely think you need somebody in there to you know, get the guys going sometimes if things are a little bit flat, and you know, you need to try and get the guys going. So I think it's a positive thing, and I think it's a good thing because we have a lot of guys who are the opposite. So we find that balance, and I think it worked well for the most part last year.
You talk about who you are. How did you get to Oklahoma City?
I got to Oklahoma City, obviously Chris Benliv, I played with him in 2011 in North Carolina, and obviously when he got the job here, I was trying to get away from the team I was with. I'd been there for a few years and things got a little bit stale for me at that organisation, so I was looking to try something new for a fresh start. So Spenny spoke with Jimmy and we got in contact and it kind of went from there.
What's it like playing soccer growing up in Wales?
I mean, Wales is a big rugby country as well, but the UK in general, it's all it is soccer, you know. It's a different generation now. I feel old saying that, but when I was a kid, I mean, there was 4 streets around my area, so like 2 streets would be one team, the other kids on the other 2 streets would be the other team, would play in a street and would make goals and just play in the streets, you know. And if people weren't playing, be in the back garden with one of the friends or just kicking a ball against the wall. I mean, I never left the house without a ball at my side, you know. If I was going to knock on my friend, he was coming out to play, I'd dribble the ball to his house, you know, that kind of thing. You can't really do that now in these days and age. It doesn't really happen that much. But no, for me, it was my life. It was my getaway. I come from not a great area, so to speak, which like a lot of the guys that play, like now obviously I have a big part in the youth soccer in Oklahoma, and for the most part in the United States, never mind Oklahoma, kids that play youth soccer come from pretty well-to-do families. It's an expensive sport, you know. Whereas where I come from, it's free, you know. It's like, I don't want to say the way to get out kind of thing, but it almost is in some respect, and that's where it was for me. So in that respect, I mean, I fully enjoy it. It's my life, and that's, I think, a huge part of the fire that's in me, you know. Like if I play you in a game of pool now and you beat me, I'm not going to want to talk to you for a little bit. I just can't help it, you know. And I think it's a good thing, but that's where that comes from, you know. And I think you look at a lot of the top players from the UK, and I'm not comparing myself to their level, they're fantastic players, but they all have that side to them as well as their fantastic ability, you know. And I think that's just from where they come up and where they grow up from, you know, that kind of
thing. The necessity to achieve, to get out of the current situation.
Right, well, all my friends I grew up with, I mean, the way the school system works in the UK, you leave at 16 anyway. And then college is a different thing, and then university is a different thing again. And so at 16, you're a kid basically, but you're effectively free to do whatever you want. If you want to go and get a job, you go and get a job. You don't have to go to school. You know, it's run quite different to America, you know. So most of my friends left school at 16. I was lucky enough to get a contract at 16, so I could go straight into soccer. But my friends that I grew up with, I mean, a lot of them still live in the same place, do the same job, and that works for them. But I didn't want that. I wanted more to my life, you know. So that's kind of why I was so passionate about it. So, and again, going back to it, that's where I think the fire kind of within me comes from, you know.
Explains a lot. Where do you see yourself in 15 years?
Still within soccer. I mean, it's all I've known. Like I said, I left school at 16 and I've been playing ever since. And as I get older and I start to get involved in the coaching, I start to see the game from a different aspect, you know, maybe from a coach's point of view, that kind of thing. So the coaching route is definitely one I want to take. I'd love to be a professional coach in the future.
How important was the Colorado Springs game, and how important was the LA Galaxy 2 game in the evolution of this team? Because so often you see it in other sports, you can't just go from 0 to 60. You can't go from not making the playoffs to winning the championship in the same year.
I think it was huge. I mean, the Colorado Springs game was, I mean, that's a memory I'll always have with me. You know, it's something I'll tell my grandkids about, you know, when the fans were on the field going crazy, that kind of stuff. I mean, you can't buy that kind of atmosphere, you know. And I think that'll be something in 10, 15, 20 years down the line, Energy fans will be able to look back and say, I was there for that game. And that's where Energy really kind of started, you know. LA Galaxy game was disappointing, but like Jimmy said at the time, I think it's something we can take a lot from. A lot of the guys don't have experience of being in championship games, winning or losing, you know, so that's definitely my motivation this year, to go one better and hopefully win a championship at Taft.
So next time we see the red mist descend, we know it's one more thing Gaz is doing to bring Oklahoma City a championship. For Energy FC TV, I'm Brent Skarky.